Good morning, my YouTube friends and family. Um, yeah, I know I'm supposed to not be uploading videos this weekend. Um, my daughter's little get together is happening over at the in-laws tonight. And so my wife, daughter, and my son were all gonna go over there yesterday to start getting things ready and whatnot. And when my 5-year-old boy saw I got home, I hadn't been home in a few weeks. He changed his mind and said, "Dad, I want to stay home with you." And so um, it's been boy time, and he's sound asleep right now. I figured I'd knock out another little video real quick. Um, Couple things. Um, Wilman 30. Welcome to the group or to my channel, brother. Thanks for subscribing. I really do appreciate your comments. They are very insightful and helpful. Um, I wanted to jump on a couple of them because I think they will benefit other viewers. This is a smart man that made some very good comments here. Um, he comments, "I don't move any load if the base rate doesn't equal to $2 or more." Another comment is, "It's important that your audience knows that the rate they are seeing includes um, the toll and the fuel charge." And this is a very good point. We need to, and I'm sorry if I singled you out there, brother. Maybe I should have asked you if it was okay first. Um, but what the point he's making here is when we look at a load, let's open one up. When we look at a load like this one, let's just say, um, well, this one's kind of an oddball because it's a very short one, but it'll still work. What he's talking about is down here at the bottom. And so you have a base rate, and then they add a fuel surcharge, and in some cases, they add a toll fee. And so, especially if you're like in the Northeast, in the New York area, Jersey, um, the Pennsylvania Turnpike, all of those areas hit you with a lot of toll fees. And so when you're comparing different markets, sometimes you might look at something and say, well, the rate out of San Antonio, Texas, is $1.95, and the rates up in the Northeast are $2.35. The difference may be the tolls. And so his point is a very good one. When you look at the rates, you need to look at what's considered the base rate. And so I pay my drivers a percentage of the rate. And truth be told, I pay them 30%. And so there's, how do I put this? It puts myself and my drivers on the same mindset. If I pay a driver by the day, he's not going to care if he gets any work because I'm going to pay him the day to sit at a truck stop and do nothing. When you do that, a driver will turn down every load that comes up because he's still going to get paid. If you pay a driver by the mile, he's going to want you to take $1.30 a mile loads for 3,000 miles because he doesn't care. He's going to get paid by the mile. If you pay a driver a percentage, then you tell him, "Hey, look, this load pays $2,000. It picks up Thursday at noon, delivers Friday at 8 a.m. All of a sudden, he's making 30% of $2,000 in less than 24 hours. Now you're both on the same page with the same goal, right? Anyway, and so this was an excellent point. It's important to understand your fuel surcharge is money that's going towards your fuel cost. Your tolls are intended to go to tolls. And so don't always consider that, one is versus the other, because your bottom line is what counts here. The other comment he made was on a review I did on another page, and I find it kind of funny because I get tons and tons of views on my posts for Amazon, and one of his comments was on another load board. I think it was called like Com Freight or something like that. And he states that he's grabbing loads out of there and there's good freight and he's using that company to factor with. And so that's all good feedback, guys. And if everyone has, something to contribute, something to say, keep it respectful. We're not looking to beat up on anyone. I know sometimes my video sounds like I'm beating up on a group. I'm just trying to point out what not to try and get yourself into if it's not going to be beneficial. And so getting back to what I'm looking at here, the reason for my post today, I saw a couple posts on Facebook. Someone posted, hey, I just got on Relay, and it kind of sounds like the person just bought a box truck. And then he goes, is the Las Vegas market always this dry? The truth is, there is no Las Vegas market for 26-foot box trucks. It's a dead area. And this person apparently just went out and bought a truck and just activated an authority, and boom, he's got nothing. That's what we're trying to avoid with this group or with this channel, right? We're trying to avoid for someone to take, like I said in another video, for someone to take their life savings and dump it into buying a truck, activating an authority, and trying to get going, only to find you have no market, is just horrible. And so that's the nature of what I'm trying to post here. Anyways, someone asked about St. Louis, and so quickly, there is some activity in the St. Louis area. I think we've run this area before, not just through Amazon, but through others. There is some market activity there. It doesn't seem to be, it's not highly paid, but it's not horrible either by comparison. There's markets where, there's $1.49 or 45 a mile. And these loads are for next week. And so if there's other loads, people may have already booked them. And this is kind of the nature of this video. Again, on Facebook, someone posted, hey, I'm trying to look at loads for next week. When do they load? And everyone started telling him, what are you doing trying to book loads for next week? And his reply was, and I'm not going to single him out and say his name or anything like that. I sent him a link to my channel. Hopefully he comes and subscribes and starts learning. So I'm not going to single him out by name. But his response was, I want to have, my work booked out for all next week. So I have, guaranteed work. That's what kills these rates, guys. And so here, I want to make this video to kind of help show you guys what the filters do, how I use them, and you could already have access to Relay, and maybe you're not using it because the loads just don't look appealing to you. So this is something that Amazon doesn't teach you. Even if you attend their little seminars, they don't show you this. So I'm going to start by removing the blocks. And the reason for removing the blocks is the blocks don't allow you to work some of the filters the way I do. So I'm going to go anywhere to anywhere. So now it's pretty much going to show everything in the US, okay? I don't mess with the departure date. I've never been able to get it to work well. It does what it does, but I don't really care for it. And so then equipment, as you guys know, we've got the choice between box truck, a 28-foot, and a 53-foot. I think I've only seen a 28-foot trailer at an Amazon location once, and I've been to quite a few of them. I mean, we ran for Amazon for, I'm going to say 6 or 7 months, and we got around. I had 6 trucks running with them, and we hit quite a bit of market. So okay, trip duration in days and hours, I don't mess with that either. The type of load, this is either drop and hook or live load. And then trailer status, this is basically the difference between a power only or you bring your own trailer. In my particular case, I would click on the required, and then the next one you have is solo versus team. The payout, I usually set this to around 1,000 because, as I've said in my other videos, it doesn't make any sense for me I can't move a truck for less than 1,000 a day. And I know I spent like the last week beating up on the box trucks. To that end, there's another video out there. There's a couple guys that just started up, and I know I criticize the guys that say, hey, we're making a killing. Their video shows they're making some pretty good revenue. I'll try and find it and maybe put it in the description. But what I've noticed with their videos is they're using a dispatch service, and it does not appear that they're doing Amazon either exclusively or at all. That being said, it kind of looks like they made like between 5 and 7 grand in their first week. That's good money for a box truck. If you bought a box truck for 10 or 15 grand and you can make 5 to 7,000 a week and you're not deadheading very much, now we're talking. That's what you need to do. So anyways, I need to try and stay on point here. So okay, so at the very top, the next item that filters is payout. That's what I set at, $1,000. You can do the price per mile filter. I find that it really doesn't do what I want it to do. And then what I do is here at the right is a sort. Now this sort is, to me, one of the more handy ones. So if I click on it, you'll see it has start date going from newest to oldest, or start date from furthest to newest. Age would be how long ago they put it in, either the newest or the oldest in there. Price per distance, highest, and then price per distance lowest. I said them backwards, my apologies. Then you have distance, in terms of how long your haul is, and then payout, higher or lower. And so these are the different filters and what they do. I know I didn't go through and demonstrate what each one does as we're putting it in. I'm going to kind of show how I filter it, and then you guys are going to see, the differences. I'm going to pick a market just for the sake of picking a market. I guess we could stay on the St. Louis one because we were already there, and I didn't really review it. I just, scrolled through the screen. My apologies to the person that requested it. You should be able to pause the video and see what's there. But okay, so we're gonna look at this, and then I'll show you kind of how I either consider this a good market or not. And so I go to this payout, right? And personally, I want like $1,000, and I got really lucky. It landed on there because as I'm scrolling it, you can't see how far it's gone. And so at $1,000, that limits how many loads we have, right? Let me get that out of the way. So we're down to only 10 results. So now this is showing me the loads that would be of interest to me, because I don't want to, I'm not going to start the truck for less than $1,000. And so here we have, a load going to Memphis. There's a tour with teams. it looks like tours with teams are going to be primarily what's going to put you in that $1,000 mark. Here's a one-way heading to Henderson, Nevada. But as you can see, the per mile rate is pretty bad, right? And so, there's another one to Nevada. There's another one. So it kind of sounds like someone's filling an order and there's a bunch of truckloads to go there. So if we take that filter and we remove it just for the sake of, looking at what's there, only half of those loads would even be of interest to me. So someone like me that runs my trucks over the road and I chase the rate, the way I learned which market I want to be in is we click anywhere to anywhere. Okay, so now there's 2,500 loads. I'm not going to remove the power only stuff, even though I don't do power only, just for the sake of you guys seeing what I'm talking about. And so I'm going to come over here to the filter, and we're going to click on price per distance highest. So this is going to show you the highest rate per mile. Now, obviously, you're going to have the 15s, 20s, and 30s, but for very few miles, right? So at this point, you can kind of use this other filter, and you could either say payout, which is what I do. Again, I'll move it back and see if I can hit that 1,000 mark again. 800, that's close enough. So now we're looking at all of the loads across the country in all the markets, and what it's going to show you very quickly, very easily. And for those of you that think Amazon's not going to show me the better paying rates until I'm here for a while, you should know I figured this out before I hauled my very first load. There isn't a limit on the loads you can see. The problem is either your market isn't that great, or other people in your market are booking loads before they get time to go up. That's the drawback to being in a market that's highly saturated, such as Los Angeles, Dallas, Florida, Atlanta. And by saturated, it's not that you're the biggest market, there's a lot of carriers for the little freight that's there. So, okay, so now as we look at this, we have 230 miles, for $1,200. There you have, 245 miles for $1,100. There's, 447 miles for $2,000. So you see how all of a sudden the whole program looks a whole lot better, right? How you filter it will then give you the better insight. So I don't recognize this name. That's in New York. So those of you guys that are in the New York market that have asked me, hey, show me New York, this is where you find these loads. But of course, this load, as you can see, if you look at the very top here, this load needs to load today at 10 a.m. It's those loads that do not get booked in advance that are going to have these excellent rates. It's tougher to do it this way because you have to be willing to take the risk of possibly not getting a job. But consider 230 miles for $1,200 compared to if you were to take a load or this same load and you would have booked it, let's just say on Monday, and you've been working every day of the week because you're booking the loads a week in advance. You could skip working a day or two if you're getting, for 8 hours worth of work, you're getting $1,200. If you don't find a load on Monday, you could afford it because you didn't do loads like this for $400. You see what I'm getting at? And so, okay, here's another one in Pittsburgh. So those of you that asked me about the Pennsylvania area, there's a Pittsburgh Pittsburgh load for 1,100 bucks. It'll take you 7 hours to do it, which, okay, you lose the majority of your day, but like I've said, you want to make 1,000 a day or somewhere between 80 to 100 bucks an hour. This is 7 hours worth of work, and you're at almost 1,200 bucks. Again, if you don't find one of these loads today, but you did 2 or 3 of them during the week, you burned way less fuel, wore out your truck less, and made more money. So here's your next one. Ohio. I know people have asked about Ohio. And so here's a load in Ohio, paying almost $5 a mile, 447 miles, and you're going to get 2,000 bucks. Tell me you're finding better rates than that somewhere else. My dispatch service does find me loads that pay better than that. But considering if you do it through Amazon, you're going to get paid in a week and you don't have to pay a dispatch service. This isn't bad money. You just have to be willing to take the risk of waiting to the last minute to book. Again, this one loads today at 10 a.m. This is the reason why, guys, I do my videos at 2 to 4 in the morning. It's when these rates go up. These are just loads that did not get booked. So, okay, so here's Nashville, Tennessee, going to Bahia, Mississippi, which that's basically a more popular city that you'll be familiar with. It's holy cow, it's also in Tennessee, Memphis. And so you're going to Memphis, 226 miles for 1,000 bucks, and Memphis is an excellent market to get outbound freight. So here's another one, 197 miles for 800 bucks, 228 miles for 1,200 bucks. And guys, this filter works even if you just went active with Amazon today. Stop the belief that, well, I can't see the better paying rates until I've been with them longer. I figured this out before I hauled my first load. When I first got active with them, I mentioned this in another video, I was actually disgusted with the rates, and that was before I learned how to work these filters. And it was before I learned that the closer the departure date gets, the better the rates go up. Now, to that end, the other thing you're going to notice here, the only one of these, well, the first two, so there's these two here at the top are power only. Okay? I mean, people have told me, yeah, Miguel, that only works when you provide your own trailer. These two power-only loads are at an excellent rate. You just have to be willing to be patient to book your load, and you need to learn how to work the filters. These are things that even if you call into those seminars where they teach you how relay works, they don't show you this. These are the things they don't want you to know. It's the practices they don't want you to follow. And I guarantee you, if at least half of the carriers that ran for Amazon did this, all of us would benefit. If you ask yourself, why does Amazon work with brand new authorities? Why does Amazon make it so easy to get in? Why? Because people are going to jump in and they're going to take that attitude of, I want to book loads for all next week so I have guaranteed work. Yeah, at $1.40 a mile. That's not what we want, guys. We want the better rates. We want to make a profit. That's kind of what this boils down to. Anyways, this video really wasn't about showing you guys any specific market. It's more about showing you how to work these filters and how to make the application work for you. And so this is how I learned which markets have the better rates and where does it happen most that they don't get these loads filled and you can book loads at the last minute. Now, some people are going to ask, well, Miguel, if you figured out the golden key to Amazon, why did you switch away from Amazon to a dispatch service? What it boiled down to was driver comfort. If you tell a driver, I'm not going to assign you a load till 2 in the morning, the driver won't sleep well, thinking I'm going to miss the text message where he tells me where I have to be, and he's going to be worried. And more importantly, he's going to be worried you didn't find him a load. And so I switched over to a dispatch service that books. My dispatch service is typically booking the load before you make your drop. As you're coming into, let's just say, if we got a load going to Ohio, you're still 100 miles out, and my dispatcher is blowing me up in text messages. These are the loads I got. This is what they pay. What do you think? Which way do you want to go? And so we're not even unloaded yet, and we have a rate con in hand for the next load, so the driver can go find himself a spot at the truck stop, get a shower in, grab dinner, go to sleep. He already knows what time his clock's going to reset. He knows what time his delivery appointment is, and it improves his quality of life versus by the time you get out of Amazon and then you get over to the truck stop, now you can't fall asleep because what time is your next pickup? I don't know. Do I have time to, do I have time for all the stuff I need to do and still get a good night's sleep? Well, no, I can't get a good night's sleep because I'm waiting for the boss to call. And now all of a sudden, the risk you take doing it this way is the morning of, you're watching a load. This load would be great. It's going from, Memphis to Phoenix. It's going to get me close to home. And there's one load, and it could be there's 3 other people that are also waiting for it to go up. And someone beats you to it. It does happen. So that's the drawback to doing it that way. And it's kind of why, I still have the Amazon load board, but I also have a dispatch service that keeps me busy. Now, if dispatch starts showing me, hey, this market we moved you into isn't all that great, or it suddenly went dry, I do have the backup of Amazon, and I can book one of these to at least get myself moved. Anyway, this is how the filters work. This is what Amazon does not want you to know. They know we tell each other. They know we figure it out, but they're not going to go out and say it. That's the key to them getting someone to do the rates cheap. They let you in brand new. You just opened your new authority. You just gave whatever, $7,500 down on your insurance, and they're counting on you're just going to want to book loads a week in advance at $1.30 to $1.60 a mile, and that's where they save the money to pay for these loads. How can they afford to pay, almost $6 a mile when supposedly the market's less? It's not that the market's less. They got enough people to feed off the bottom where they save the money to pay those of us that take the better paying loads. It's a game they're playing, guys. And the newbies fall into that plan. I'm here to show them the better way. That's my whole goal here, guys. I don't make these videos because it's like an ego trip for me. If I'm wrong on something, I'm wrong. And if one of you guys teach me, show me something, I'm totally down with that. I'm not going to take offense if someone says, hey, I think you're wrong, bud. Cool. Show me. Let's talk about it. And then I'll share with you guys what I learned. Hey, viewer so-and-so, kind of like I did at the beginning of this video. Viewer so-and-so brought up some excellent points. And honestly, hopefully, I hope he continues to contribute, because that's what my channel is all about. The more you guys comment, help each other, help me, everybody wins. And this video is primarily geared at showing you guys what the market does within Amazon. And the day you get yours active, if this is the route you're going to go, I'd rather you know how to play this than to fall into that trap of taking the bottom ones. Because like I said in another video, when you take a 500-mile load for $630, you hurt us all. You see those 500-mile loads do pay out up to $2,000. When you take them for $600, you hurt us all because Amazon continues to put the loads on the load board at that price because they know there's someone that'll take it. And it's a mistake. It's a mistake that hurts us all. Anyways, I hear my boy starting to rustle around, so I'm gonna go back to playing Mr. Dad. Time to make him some breakfast and get my boy up and at it. Thanks for watching, everyone.